Now, 260,000 federal workers are at risk of being furloughed. Border Czar Tom Homan, meanwhile, said that the Trump administration has wrapped up its large-scale immigration enforcement operation in Minnesota, known as Operation Metro Surge. He said ICE rescued more than 3,000 missing unaccompanied migrant children during that time. Joining me now is Iowa Congressman Zach Nunn. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you for being here. The House and Senate won't be back in session until February 23rd. So DHS will likely or could be shut down for at least 10 days. What kind of an impact are you expecting?
Well, Maria, this is just disappointing across the board that political progressives put their own interests ahead of the entire country. And taking, public sector employees hostage in this negotiation is the absolute worst way to do business. Because what this means is that thousands of TSA agents are going to go another season of not getting their paycheck. Let's not forget, Democrats, the Schumer shutdown, forced them into multiple pay periods without pay. And while they're required to work for the sake of the American people, they're not making money. And these are our frontline guys. But in addition to that, it means Coast Guard's not going to be able to intercept Russian rogue vessels or save Americans who are stranded. It also means, tragically, this winter season, we're going to see real national emergencies where FEMA, our Federal Emergency Management Administration, is not going to be funded because of this DHS shutdown. And the really disappointing part here, Maria, is that Democrats knew at the beginning, not all, because many supported our bill in the House that we approved and even some in the Senate, but these progressive Democrats, no, this is not going to stop ICE. ICE has been funded through 2029 through bills and legislation that we passed this summer. And the reality is we sent over a bill that they could have moved forward so that we could keep the government open. The president sent over a plan just this week to get them back to the table. And then last night sent them legislative text. At all three of these events, they slapped the president's hand away, they slapped the House's offer away, and they slapped the American people in the face with their disastrous plan with no idea of how they're going to reopen the government and help protect Americans.
I mean, what will it take to bring people together here and actually reopen after the 10 days?
Yeah, so, Maria, here's the reality. This is not hey, each side has a legitimate argument. The Democrats at this point have no argument left. They've been offered three different options. They've said no to all. It was clear that Schumer wanted a shutdown regardless of what was offered here. And as a result, I think the Democrats need to take up the Republican bill that came with bipartisan support from the House. Let's not forget, this is the first time since the 1990s we have gotten all of the appropriations passed and signed into law by the president. This is business as order regular that we should have. And the Democrats in this case are looking for a political win because they have no message left to deliver to the American people.
Well, it's the same thing as the SAVE Act. I mean, the House passed the 32-page Save America Act. There was a vote of 218 to 213. This is an election integrity bill, obviously supported by President Trump. It would require proof of citizenship to register to vote and show ID to cast a ballot. And yet, Democrats in the Senate say it's dead on arrival. Strong Democrat opposition there. The filibuster requirement may block it from reaching the 60 votes needed. Do you think that the Save America Act ever gets to President Trump's desk for signage? What's wrong with having an ID to vote? I don't get it.
Maria, the Save America Act is the best voter integrity for the modern era that everyone wants. You look at the polling on this and it's through the chart, but more importantly, it's good for America. I was proud when I was in the state legislature as a senator from Iowa. We moved this forward and we have seen it work election after election in success, enfranchisement, and integrity. Taking it to the nation's capital is building on a best practice we've had here in Iowa that we now get to share with the entire nation. I know for a fact this works. The hesitation at this point just shows how, bankrupt some of these progressives are, that they don't want any check on voter ID. Something as simple as a driver's license that confirms your citizenship and your ability to vote is really important. Look, you got to be 21 years old to drink. You got to be 21 to buy and get a gun. You use a driver's license. We should use a driver's license or a voter ID to make sure when you show up to vote, one of the most important things you can do as an American citizen is taken care of.
Remember what Kamala Harris said about this? She said something like, well, people are going to have to make copies of their documents and just, people don't have Kinkos around. I didn't understand what she was talking about.
Ridiculous. No. And this is their best argument,
right? You need a Kinko's, and they can't make the copies.
That's right.
Oh, my goodness. All right, look, the House overwhelmingly passed the Housing for the 21st Century Act to tackle housing affordability, boost home ownership. Just 9 total congressmen voted no. This package includes some key provisions from your bipartisan Rural Housing Service Reform Act. How significant is this to move the needle on home ownership, do you think?
Maria, to begin with, this is huge. Let's face it. Washington has been broke on helping homeowners achieve the American dream for decades now. As a result, we have seen home ownership for the first-time home buyer go from the age of 20 to the mid-40s. And we need to have 5 million new houses out there to meet the demand that currently exists for our renters and first-time home buyers, as well as some of our last-time home buyers. I'm thrilled the 21st Century Act moved forward not only in a bipartisan way, but offers real solutions here for home buyers, driving down costs, eliminating years of red tape delays, and now moving it to just days to get approval through HUD and USDA. I'm super impressed with the incredible bipartisan work that we were able to achieve for rural affordability. My rural housing bill, which passed on the floor by overwhelming numbers, is on its way to the president's desk. If we can get the Senate on board with this, it means real success for rural America to have the same opportunities, including repairs to existing housing stock, moving modular homes into an access for everybody, particularly a first-time home buyer, and also ensuring that rural America gets the same advantages as the rest of the country has had when it comes to microloans and active development of new sites at an affordable cost for both the home buyer, the builder, and a growth for our overall economy.
Yep. Well, President Trump continues his efforts to rein in costs everywhere. Congressman, we're watching your work. We appreciate you joining us this morning. Thank you, sir. Zach Nunn this morning.
Thanks, Maria.
We'll see you soon. We'll be right back. Stay with us.